can't believe that. I just totally filmed an entire thing for you guys, and then the battery on my mic died, and I didn't realize it until the end, so I don't know where it like cut off for me to have like started over, or started from where I left off. But we can just like jump into it. Oh, God. It's not going to be a long episode today, but I do have some things to say for future episodes. So let's like jump into it, do the whole thing. What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is John Scott Won't Stop. I'm a second generation stylist, and I've been doing hair for the better part of 2 decades. Now, typically I am here to share with you the knowledge I've gained throughout the industry. However, lately I've been doing something a little bit differently, and that is these. Now, usually I have a microphone, but it died, as you probably heard from the intro there. So I'm relying on the microphone of my camera. If it's shitty, I apologize. I'll make sure that doesn't happen again. I usually get quite a few videos out of my mic, but whatever. And if you guys aren't loving that mic, I have plans to change it out. Don't worry. I just need to get a shotgun mic. Maybe I'll put it on like a wish list or something. We'll see. Okay, so where we left off, I had already, not left off, but to recap, I had discussed how she initially like came at me, and then it just kind of escalated from there. I didn't initially just start roasting her like I would typically anybody else, because it was clear to me that she was a narcissist or at least a psychopath, and I knew that's kind of what she wanted out of me, because she was claiming I was an abuser just from one video where I was like, you need to back the fuck off my friend's kid. My friend and his kid, but primarily it was about backing off his kid. And it's just like jumped on me or whatever. He's an abuser. Okay, that's what you want me to do, is act abusive. So instead, I'm just going to highlight your shit. She weaponized creators of color. She tried to weaponize, not creators of color, she tried to weaponize their content that had nothing to do with her for her own personal gain in a fight she started. And then tried to do the same thing with a gay creator. She was making fun of my alcoholism. She was using the macroaggression that is the Valley Girl voice at me. She was using homophobic rhetoric on screen. I tried taking her to court. That didn't work. So I just displayed her behavior. That didn't work. Took her to court. We were looking at the wrong statutes, harassment and stalking, not cyber stalking and cyber harassment. So that also like didn't shake out. So then I tried ignoring her, and then she was making up lies and shit about my husband and attacking his career when he's not a content creator, nor is he like involved in this in any way, and she's just trying to get him to lose his license because somehow that'll affect me, right? She's god-awful. And so ignoring her didn't work. Well, then I ended up making a video because my friend had been explaining the situation to everybody. My friend that she initially attacked, where I was like, back off his kid. So she was going through his... He had made a live, or he had done a live where he was explaining the situation and how she used homophobic rhetoric, how she was making fun of my alcoholism, and a lot of people responded to that by reporting her account for bullying and harassment, and like her own followers turned on her. Their comments were like, "What is wrong with you?" That kind of stuff. Well, she's like, "That never happened." Da, 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 da. So I was like, "Fine, fuck it. I'm throwing my hat back in the ring. I'll say some shit." So she's at this point calling me balding. And I remember what else she was saying. She kept referring me to like a bald guy, and then I was like, I'm not balding, I have a big ass forehead. So she's like, oh, the guy with the big forehead. Like, she thinks she's like talking shit. And in my thing, I was like, okay, so a lot of you want to know what's been going on with insert nickname here, because she has a nickname. And I'm like, and this is what's going on. But like my followers created this nickname for her. It was like I watched it evolve. It was hilarious. And then there was other like nicknames that we had for this person involving neck cheese. Long story, but not pertinent to this situation. So she, like none of that was working. So I decided, like, fuck it, I'm gonna call her out. And so I was like, yeah, you absolutely did. Here's you claiming that you never said that. Here's you actually doing it, like making fun of my alcoholism. Like, and you're using the Valley Girl voice. And then she's like, oh, it's a Valley Guy voice. Meh. Nicolas Cage, such a great movie. Backpedal, backpedal, backpedal. Yeah, it's not a real thing. there's no such thing as a Valley guy voice. If anything, they would sound like Spicoli, or they would sound like Brad Chattenbad. Like, that's what the Valley is. And I know this because I was raised in Southern California. So, not far from the Valley. She has only seen it on TV. So, what she has, the idea that most of the country who hasn't been living in LA or been to the Valley have about the Valley is this cinematic concept, this cinematic stereotype of like, oh my God, it's not like that at all. Like, maybe 4 women were like that back in the 80s and 90s, but it's not how it was. Although that has been used as a macroaggression against gay men forever. So I point that out. I show the homophobic rhetoric that she was espousing and why it was homophobic. I showed her attacks against my friend Mare that I mentioned in the last video about how she was saying that Mare would have chosen a husband that would have beat her kids, and how Mare was contributing to white supremacy while my stalker was not contributing to it and actually fighting it more than she was. And then she try to come after me and my looks, and in my like opening we're like, this is what she's been up to. I was like, oh, and by the way, I'm holding more hair between my 2 fingers than you have on your entire head, so watch your tone. Not talking about my hair, my forehead, my hairline. Okay. But that's the thing, like, she's trying to call me old. She's 10 years older than I am. She's trying to call me bald. She has like no hair. Literally looks like Gollum or Smeagol. Gollum though, like my precious, but like my insanity, very that. So, you know, whatever. But she's in this time also like doing lives where she's, you know, reiterating this point of having a strong vagine and talking about mine and 2 of my friends in the same sentence, and I'm like, don't do that. It's like, now we're doing sexual harassment. Okay, yeah, I said harassment. That's how I like to say it. But yeah, so we're just going back and forth, and then she was like trying to talk shit. She tries to compare me and my friend to Beavis and Butthead, my friend with the kid. Try to compare us to Beavis and Butthead. She calls us Jeeves and Jackal or some shit like that. And I'm like, you tried, but so she's like, oh, like, and then posts a picture of Beavis, like, as that's supposed to be me or whatever. And so I posted a picture of Vito, the whatever, from Ghostbusters 2, you know, the painting. That's what I think she looks like. And I was like, who wore it better? And I did a side-by-side of her. And anyway, I ended up dog walking her across this app. Then she goes on to be like, I'm not homophobic. He claimed, I didn't know that he was gay. I'm like, that makes it more homophobic. And then my buddy she's trying to fight with, another gay man, she's like, you're toxic. And he goes, yeah, so what? I am. What about it? And then she makes a video about how not all gay people are toxic. And we're like, who said anything about his orientation? There, at no point was a sexual orientation brought up until she brought it into the conversation, and only to be like, hey, just in case everyone thought gay people were toxic, they're not. Like, girl, what year do you think this is? Like, yeah, a lot of people hate gay people, but they just hate them for being gay, not for being toxic. Like, what? She's so stupid. Which is something people like to make fun of me for saying. She's so stupid. I'm not the only one to have said that either. She goes on to like claim that I'm cyber stalking her more, right? And all these extortion things happen. But she like makes this claim that there's like a criminal ring of cyber stalkers that I'm both in charge of, but also my friend's sidekick too. So like, I'm not sure who's supposed to cut the checks for that. She goes on to say that I've hacked the TikTok algorithm. You know, I figured out how to get past all of like their firewalls or whatever, and then change their coding specifically in a giant mathematical equation, because I don't think math is homophobic or anything. I've been very vocal about that. She also thought I hacked her email and changed the email to one of her 33 accounts instead of just, I don't know, deleting the entire account and any other account subsequent to that. But, you know, because I really want her to stop and leave me alone, but having the opportunity, it's just doesn't, none of it makes sense, right? None of it like actually makes sense. And it's one thing after another. So her and I go back and forth. I dog walk her. I'm like, I'm done. Leave it at that. And this is when I started doing what's called like an extinction technique, right? And I took down all of the videos from the playlist that they were in, but I left the playlist up and empty. That was my way of saying, like, you only get to exist within this space that is my content when I say you can. You know what I mean? When people are like, I posted a video where it just said irrelevant on the screen, and that was just like a general message to everybody, like, if you're irrelevant, you don't exist here. So I didn't say anything, I didn't say anybody's name, nothing. And she inspired it a little bit, but it's just in general with like trolls, like, you're irrelevant to me, like nothing you can say to me is gonna hurt my feelings. And I was irrelevant. I dressed it up to look like the Adult Swim thing. Well, she thought that was code, and that when we would put that somewhere, that would let bot farms know to like attack her and get her views way up there, but keep her likes and her comments down. So that way, like, it shows no one's really engaging with it. So it like makes it look bad for her. Something like, I don't know. She had some weird, crazy conspiracy. And then a friend of mine who's a pharmacist, apparently because they have a degree, well, they're not even a friend, they're like an acquaintance. Not even that. Like, we're just kind of mutuals. They have a degree in pharmacology or whatever. So that means they're a computer hacker. Because, you know, logic tracks. Like, there was so much that it was just from all sides. She was, she sent me a cease and desist letter. She sent me a cease and desist letter. She claims a lawyer wrote it. First of all, it was dated for like 3 months before it arrived to my house. She sent it to my house, which I didn't put my address on anything that was on like legal documents. I used my post mailbox, right? And somehow she found it, even though like I had my information deleted. It doesn't really matter. She gets a hold of my address somehow, letting me know that she knows where I live, which that's a problem. And so like, I mean, by this point I have her address memorized because I've had to call the police so many damn times, but whatever. So she like sends me a cease and desist letter. It says things like, but not limited to, which cease and desist letters have to be. I said I was going to read it to you guys, but that would mean I'd have to find it right now. Fine, give me a second. Found it. Took me a minute. All right. So her name, address, all that. May 23rd is when she wrote this. I didn't get it until like July or something like that. She like wrote it and then she like sent it. She didn't proofread either. It says regarding cease and desist harassment. This isn't a real cease and desist letter, you guys. Like, have a lawyer draft that up or have like a template done, but you also have to like file it. Like, it's not just you send it to someone and that's that. Like, it's not how that works. Dear me, this letter serves as documentation of a pattern of harassing activities that began on February 27th. 26th is when, well, 25th is when it all started with her going after my friend, but this letter is notice to you that you must immediately cease and desist these harassing activities against and towards the stalker, including but not limited to. So like, literally this is open-ended, and like I will violate this if she decides randomly about anything. That's why already this is off to a bad start. But not limited to is not something you use in something that's supposed to be very, very precise, like a cease and desist letter. Maybe this will be a little bit longer. Me has stalked and harassed the stalker for months, making TikTok spreading false and malicious rumors that the stalker is homophobic, check, racist, check, and mocks those with alcoholism, triple check. She did all of that. On numerous occasions, Me stated he knows that by making and circulating these videos among his 210,000 followers, now 294 followers, that they will contribute to harassment and defamation of the stalker's character. Y'all, if you could see what she's doing right now, which I will get to in like probably a week or two. I know you guys have to wait, but there's like so much we have to get through here. I will give you guys updates on it. She has lost every last marble. Like, it's fucking crazy. Next. Me formed a team with his best friend so-and-so, alias online handle, on TikTok in order to harass the stalker, the stalker's husband named, and their company also named. Me and his team plotted on social media site Discord, which I just started Discord, so this is a lie. I've gone into a Discord to shut down a conversation that didn't need to be happening, but I didn't spend time on Discord back then. I'm trying to get into it now. Anyway, on the site Discord, in order to destroy the person private property, it was supposed to say personal. Now I'm gonna try it. Like, you guys, I don't want you guys to see too much of the information here, but there's outline and writing. It's because I took a red pen to it, because I'm petty. Destroy the personal private property of the stalker. What she's calling personal private property is her 2 TikTok accounts that got banned for her hateful behavior, harassment and bullying and stalking. Anyway, that also would be used as a part of a future business venture. So something that doesn't exist yet, she was going to use it for. You can't have loss on something that hasn't happened. Okay? Anything could happen in that time. You could get hit by a car, or, you know, a tree can fall on the one thing that you needed that was going to make that work for you. So, me understood that making these defamatory TikTok posts, that his team of 210,000 followers, so every one of my followers is implicit in this now, would mass report her to her account name, that she built up to 140,000 potential customers in 18 months, leading to the removal of her account by TikTok under false pretensions. She meant pretenses, but, you know, a lawyer wrote this, apparently. Girl, hire a new lawyer. That's my chair squeaking. Has also stalked the stalker to learn the name of the stalker's husband and company, to harass husband's name and company's name's employees. Has called the company demanding to speak with her husband or their legal team. Upon learning that her husband was busy, unable to speak with him, I apparently verbally harassed an employee by yelling and screaming obscenities while refusing to provide any contact information for a return call to resolve the perceived dispute. Now, if you remember the last one, I said that's what she said in this, but I have her on video saying that I also left an email for her husband to contact me and that he wouldn't be. So there's 2 versions of this story that she's telling. One in which she thinks is a legal document, so both lies. So anyway, I repeated this process twice in conjunction with my accomplice, the friend mentioned earlier in this, who is also taking part in the harassment of me. She meant to say in the harassment of the stalker. Saying my friend's also participating in the harassment of her, but she says, who is also taking part in the harassment of my name. John Scott won't stop, stalked and harassed a stalker's name by making public tweets, singular then plural, on the social media website Twitter. The information included in the tweets on May 11th and May 13th, they've been removed if you're going to go run to Twitter to try to find them, contained defamatory and false statements about the stalker that were meant to cause harm to the reputations of the stalker, her named husband, and their named company. She tries to say that she doesn't have any part in the company, but in this, what she thinks is a legal document, she says their company several times. Then I harassed the stalker by using the courts and the sheriff's department by filing a protection order under false pretensions. Again, it's pretense. And by filing a false police report and demanding that the county prosecutor file charges. So she's saying that me taking the legal avenues meant for this kind of a situation is, sorry, I was checking to make sure my camera's on, is me using the courts and the sheriff's department, who I had serve her because whatever, is harassment. Okay. Then she says, for examples, refer to the documents I have attached for your convenience. There were no documents attached, just said paper for anyone's convenience. And then it says, your actions are, my actions, are unwanted, unwelcome, and have become unbearable to me. That's why she keeps making videos like laughing and joking and like trying to antagonize and stuff like that. So like her actions versus like what she's claiming is happening completely contradict each other. Your actions also infringe upon my right to remain free from harassment. Everyone should be free from harassment, but like, do you have a right to remain free from harassment? No, because someone's gonna use their First Amendment speech rights to fucking harass you. Now, at a point, it becomes illegal and they have to stop. Yeah, but like, I don't talk about you anymore, sweetheart. I only talked about you when you were coming at me, and it was always in a response or calling you on the bullshit you were trying to spread about me. So, Nice try. As a result of your harassment, I have suffered in the following ways. Substantial harm to my business. She doesn't have a job. Substantial harm to my professional reputation. You need to be a professional in something to have a reputation. Substantial harm to my personal character. Mama, you shot yourself in the foot. Emotional distress. I have an IIED outreach claim against you. You don't have one against me. Substantial harm to the professional reputation of her husband. No. Substantial harm to the reputation of their company. Girl, where? I'm sorry, but your behavior online would show up in a background check. Maybe don't behave that way? I don't know. Then she goes on to say that the stalker demands that I cease and desist from this activity immediately. As the harassment continues due to the public posts on social media apps that include but are not limited to Twitter and TikTok. You know, that not limited to. Stalker demands that I and members of his team remove any and all false and defamatory posts, comments, etc. from all social media platforms, including any social media accounts used under an alias, said the person with 33 accounts. And also when I took down her videos, I took them down before she sent this. Not when she wrote it, but before she sent it. And she's like, oh, they took them down because I sent a cease and desist letter. No, bitch. I took them down because I don't want you to exist on my platform unless I say you can. I know you're desperately trying to chase clout off me, but whatever. My team of friends and followers on social media apps have believed the defamatory statements and assisted in spreading rumors to harass the stalker for me. The stalker demands that I make posts on any and all social media platforms retracting the false and defamatory statements and encourage the team to remove all posts that continue to assist me in disparaging the stalker's named husband, and the stalker's named company. She's literally telling me right now to make a video where I name her husband, and their company. I could do that right this second. It says it right here. It's underlined, right? So I didn't take any down because of defamation. I'm not posting a retraction because I had a receipt for everything I said. And I will continue to stand by my story with all the receipts in the world while all you have is delusions and insanity. The aforementioned actions to cease and desist this harassment, as well as begin to repair the damage done to the reputation of the stalker, as well as the distress it caused, should be completed no later than 14 days upon receipt of this cease and desist letter, or else further legal action, including a complaint and lawsuit, will be taken against me, right? Sincerely, Crazy Pants McGee. So yeah, that was sent to me summertime. Didn't get a lawsuit brought against me. Didn't get any charges brought against me. So, and she sent it certified mail. She didn't get it served because when it's a legal document, it has to be served, or it has to, you got to be served it. So there's proof that it was given to the right person through court. And anybody at this house signing for anything for me, it would not have been the proof. Doesn't matter. She's gonna be like, oh, he's admitting that he got it now. Doesn't matter. That's not legit. That's not a legitimate cease and desist letter. She says it's very legit, and she's on film saying that she had a lawyer write it, and a lawyer wrote it for her, and it was a lawyer's. There is no lawyer's information anywhere on that piece of paper. There's no lawyer letterhead. And honestly, to be honest, cheap paper stock. That's cheap paper. Anyway, so that's what I got to deal with. I will be going into the 2 more times I request a hearing for a protection order with the judge in the next part 4, which will wrap up what I thought was supposed to be the whole story. There will be a part 5. She's absolutely gone batshit crazy, lost every single marble. Every single marble. She has 2 brain cells and each one of them talk to themselves. She's gone crazy. She's getting herself involved in criminal cases around the nation and calling in tip lines, and I thought she would try to pin everything back onto me. I've seen her ask and hint questions to people are you from Washington? Because that's where I'm at. and where my friends at, we're on different sides of the state. And so I'm like, but it never goes anywhere. I'm just surprised she hasn't tried to like connect all these things to me. A friend of mine's like, she's done it. She's fully gone crazy. I'm like, gone? Girl, she's been there. She's just decorating the place and getting comfortable now. Like, now she can call it home. Like, she's out of control. She is out of control. Anyway, if you guys like this video, if you like this story time, if you want more of them, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Leave it in the comment section down below. Be sure to subscribe and click that bell for notifications. Set your notifications so that way you don't miss an episode. And until next time, have a good one.